I think it's also important to celebrate in a way like what it is to be building your company that is outside of a hype cycle, but over time happens to intersect a hype cycle. And that's where it's like, the set of folks that believe the greatest kind of outcomes for both kind of founders and companies and investors is to be contrarian and right. The contrarian is, you birth the company when there was no attention on it. And then just over years, you end up kind of intersecting, right? And so, I think it's also just powerful, for the founders that are like, oh my gosh, I'm not building anything related to ChatGPT, it could still be your moment, you know what I mean, in the sun, 2 years or 5 years. Because I just remember, when folks were like, hey, how many designers are there in the world, but then it's like, 9 years later, it's like, yeah, Figma totally makes sense. Everyone, you know what I mean, like can touch and relate to design assets. You know what I mean?
I actually think that is a really, really powerful point. And I often think that those are the best companies, because I think when you're building a company and you're in the hype cycle, it's too easy to get money. It's hard to get talent. I think a lot of things are quite difficult. Whereas like, if you're like 3 years in and then it becomes a hype cycle, then you can really you've already built this kind of base. Like a similar thing happened with Mercury. Like we started in 2017, neobanks weren't really a thing. We still had a successful raise, but it was definitely quiet for a while. And then obviously, 2019, 2020, everyone was a neobank and it would have been much harder then.
I really do admire the founders and the investors, you know what I mean, that are willing to kind of to do the unglorious things, you know what I mean? And then you have your moment in the sun.